and Sass. The series talking all things skin with a side of sass. Hosted by Kelly George and Andy Paulson. Proudly sponsored by KGA Body. Hello everybody and welcome to Skin and Sass TV. I'm Andy Paulson.
And I'm Kelly George, and we have an amazing episode today.
We do. Remove my double chin.
And in fact, we are going to remove her double chin, although not that you're not gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
But as we age, and also sometimes just based on genetics, we do get a little bit of a pocket of fat in our submental area. Over the past few years, various things have come out and about on how we can treat that little pocket of fat. So today, should we get straight into it and discuss the potential?
Let's get straight into it. So if you follow us on Instagram, you're aware that I have complained about my double chin before. You might be looking at it saying, she doesn't have a double chin, but I can tell you it bothers me. And it is a genetic thing. So some people are just genetically predisposed. You may be at your goal weight. It's not a matter of being overweight, is it?
No, not always. I mean, as we age, sometimes if you're carrying a little bit of extra weight and you have gravity at play, so it sort of sags everything down. But predominantly the people that we treat at KGA, it's a genetic issue. So they could be very thin, very fit, very healthy, but they will still carry that little pocket of fat through there. And so these sorts of treatments are absolutely perfect for those candidates.
Right, okay. And so traditionally the options were, so the gold standard was lipo.
Absolutely, and it still is the gold standard. If this is something that you're really concerned about, and particularly if you're maybe 50 plus, you'd probably still want to go that option.
The surgical
route. However, not everybody wants to have surgery. It comes with downtime. It's quite expensive.
Right.
I mean, it starts from around $6,000, and that's the starting price.
And in terms of downtime as well,
you've got a lot of downtime, and you've got all the risks associated with surgery. So, you know, we really are moving into a world where in aesthetics, people are looking for that minimally invasive solution because people don't want to have surgery if they don't have to have surgery anymore.
Yeah. So what's the downtime from lipo then in terms of days?
A couple, like at least a week. Plus you're very bruised.
Yes.
And you're in pain.
Yeah. Okay. So that's time off work and, you know,
a week
of
study. Of pain, bruised, and out of, basically sitting at home hiding for a little while.
Okay, so I'm aware that there are fat-dissolving injections that you can use, and you have used those in the past, but you don't so much anymore.
No, so fat-dissolving injections came around, probably 6 or 7 years ago. We had them in Australia, and I guess the pharmaceutical companies at the time really sold them as this great, amazing alternate to surgery. But what we all found as we started using them in our clinics was that they weren't really all they cracked up to be. They're very, very painful. Yeah. Very painful. I mean, most people describe it as the most painful thing they have at our clinic, and that's saying something. Yeah. You try to do it with an anaesthetic, but then that just means more needles, so more bruising, more swelling. The downtime with the injections is actually about 4 days. You look like a bullfrog for about 4 days.
So you swell up, right?
Yeah.
So and I haven't had it, but I've heard like your husband had it.
Yes, and he did. He was, no neck for about 4 days. So you can't just go back to work the next day. You need multiple sessions. In fact, if you're a man with quite a lot of submental fat, it could be 7 treatments. And
how much are they per treatment?
It's about $7,000 a treatment. $1,000 a treatment. 7,000. No one would do it.
So pretty much the same price as lipo.
As lipo, exactly. Yeah. So, people, from a cost point of view, from a pain point of view, and from a downtime point of view, it really wasn't the best option, but we had no other option at the time.
Okay. But now we do have another option, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And exciting is that after we just chat about it, we're going to be treating.
We're going to put Andy on the machine.
So if you are listening on the podcast, we really recommend switching over, and if you have the time, watching on YouTube or Instagram, because this is an episode which will be very visual. You will see the treatment in process. So why don't we tell everyone about what the treatment is that you'll be doing today?
Yes, so the TruSculpt ID, which you can use for other areas on the body. We use it a lot for the abdominal areas, the pockets on the top of the knees, really anywhere, love handles.
Oh, that's a good one, the knees, because I know people who, really fit, and that little pocket of fat on the knees, they can't shift, and it really bugs them.
We just, as humans, have little weird pockets of fat in places. Very, very good for love handles for men, though, and men tend to respond very well to to this particular procedure. But for today, we're going to be using a little handpiece that just sits under here.
Yes.
Depending on the amount of fat that the patient has, depends on how many areas we treat. So we might just do 2 or we might just do 1. We use a little pair of calipers to measure exactly how much fat's there, which is a little confronting.
It's going to be depressing. You're going to see Kelly grab my fat with a giant pair of tweezers and tell me in millimeters how much fat I have under there. I like to think it's just like loose skin. But apparently
Well, we'll know very soon. So but anyway, look, it treats the entire layer of fat, which is unlike if you're putting needles in, you're not really sure how much of the actual fat you're getting, whether it's just tissue or whether it's actually fat. So this will actually treat all of the fat, resulting in about a result of 24% fat reduction with each session.
So just one session?
One session. Yeah. So depending on how much fat you have in that area, you might need 1 session, you might need 2 or 3 sessions. In my experience, I haven't really had to do any more than 3 sessions for anybody. The cost is around $350 per session.
Yeah.
So you can have 3 of these sessions for less than one session of the injections.
Fat dissolving injection.
No downtime, no pain.
Right.
It's, really, unless someone was contraindicated to be able to use this machine, meaning they had a pacemaker or something like that, I would never use the injections anymore.
And this is the big advantage as well, is that it's permanent, right?
And it's permanent,
You don't need to keep coming back and getting treatment.
No. Once the fat is destroyed in that pocket, it's gone forever.
And as well as, you did touch on this, but as well as the fat destruction, it's also skin tightening.
Correct, because it is radio frequency, you get a skin tightening. And the other really cool thing about it versus, say, the injections, with the injections you had to stay within that certain pocket. You weren't able to sort of go out into the jowl area. Whereas with this, we're able to help treat jowls. So we get this really nice sharpening of the jawline, which is what everybody wants. Snatch. So should we get you snatched?
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
What are we doing with these, George?
So remember how we spoke about the giant calipers? So we did have a little guess of what she was. I actually overestimated, so she's pretty mad at me at this point.
Yeah, what a bitch.
But so we need the patient to have at least 10 millimeters of fat there, and Andy has 13, so she's a very good candidate. But it does suggest that she'll only need 1 session.
Which is good.
So obviously off camera, we marked the patient up, we've taken her through the consent, she understands what's happening, and we've decided that we are going to do 2 lots of 5 minutes with a slight overlap in this little pocket where she's got the bulk of fat. So Sophie's going to be conducting the treatment, because once we start, we're unable to kind of really move too much. The patient is unable to talk.
Kelly is loving this a little bit too much.
It was a longer treatment.
Oh.
So we're going to do thumbs up, thumbs down. So if she's feeling comfortable, if she needs a break, that sort of stuff. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Just do this.
Ready?
Okay, so I'm going to start off on the side.
So we're starting with a goal temperature of 41, but we're obviously trying to get high as soon as she gets used to it.
Okay, I'm just going to start the heat now.
So that little sound you can hear indicates that the machine started, and she should be starting to feel a little bit of warmth. Comfortable warmth though? Nice. So we don't set the machine to the desired temperature immediately, because that would just be too hot too quickly. But we tell our patients that it's very similar to getting into a warm bath. At first it feels too hot, but as you dip your toe in a little bit more and a little bit more, it becomes quite comfortable. So that's why we turn it up gradually. Still comfy? So if you look closely at where the machine is, obviously we're targeting the pocket of fat, but it's reaching around to some of the skin on where her jowls are. So we're going to get a nice skin tightening effect through there, as well as the fat reduction. Okay. Thumb. So we're a minute in, and we're going to turn it up a little bit more. So we're now at 42 degrees. And we want to get somewhere between 42 and 44, but the higher the better in our experience, obviously without burning the patient, making the patient uncomfortable.
Still going okay?
So she's sitting comfortably at 42 now, even though we've set it for 42.5. There is a delay in the tissue heating up from after we turn the machine up. Burn, baby, burn. Feel that fat. Comfortably at 42.5. How's it feeling? Nice. So you've got 3 minutes left in this particular little section here.
And I'll give a little break shortly.
Yeah. And we can give the patient a tiny break. Not too much. We don't want the tissue to cool down. But if they're starting to go, oh, that's a bit too much, we can give them a few seconds of reprieve and then get started again. So the tissue's now at nice 43 degrees.
Still hanging in
How are you coping? Getting hot now?
I'm going to give it a little break.
All right, so we're pausing for a moment just to give her a break. How's it feeling?
Yeah.
You can talk really quickly.
Yeah. Starting to sting a little bit, but still
But just
tolerable.
warm. Yeah.
Hot.
And you've only got 2 minutes left in
hot.
this section, so it's a quick treatment.
Okay. And then straight back in.
So after that little break, it dropped back to 42, but it's very quickly gone back to 43. So the longer we maintain that temperature, the better results she'll get.
Here this time.
Oh,
But we're gonna
okay.
overlap, okay.
Okay, so we're going to do the other side, and like we said, we're going to be overlapping that middle bit, so she is going to feel a little bit more warmth, but also that's the spot she wants gone. So no pain, no gain, and it's only 5 minutes.
All right. That last minute was a
It is.
time.
It's warm,
That was
isn't
a
it?
time. Oh, here we go. I have to stop talking now, don't I?
Yes. Back to the thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay. So hard.
I wish we could have that sort of system in other times of our lives.
Stop making me laugh. Okay, now you're going to feel some heat.
Okay. Side 2. So it's pretty comfortable at this point. We're at 39.5. Not feeling any heat through the back? Nice. First, turning it up.
You all right so far?
Done. That's it.
Oh.
So that was 10 minutes of your life. Was it worth it?
It was worth it, but that last minute was so hard. I wanted to go like, no, and I was like, no, I need to be brave.
But really, that is how easy it is. 10 to 15 minute treatment. Some people it's only 5 if it's this tiny little thin pocket.
But
you did well.
if you have a robust double chin like mine.
13 millimeters.
I survived. Woo!
Well done. Thanks for listening, guys. Good work, Andy.